mirror become very misty, and for you to see your face you have to go and rub. But in Japan, when I went to their hotel, you don't have to do that, because they put a small heater maybe at the place where you will see your face. So the whole mirror is misty except that little place for you to see your face. I see it's very creative. Very they like to create things that makes easy for you to live. Another example is when you go to the toilet, sometimes you make a lot of noise in the toilet and you don't want other people to listen what you're doing. So the toilet in Japan, you can put noises, you can put songs, you can put lullaby, so that people don't hear what you do. So very, very creative, and there are simple things like that I was very, very impressed. And we were told that for a Japanese who wants to sell his car, he will tell you, this car has already been involved in accident, I have repaired this. Do you still want to buy? If you want to buy, this is the price. If you want to buy, it's okay. Very, very, very honest people. Yeah. So very, very impressed with their. So these are the 10 things that we can learn from Japan, despite the massive destruction, massive calamities that happen. The world should learn from Japan. Yeah? Number 1, the calmness. Yeah? Not a single visual of chest beating, wild grief, sorrow itself has been actually shown. They suffer, of course, when they see you lose your mother, you lose your parent, you lose your children, you lose your house. You think they don't cry? They cry. But you don't see as if other people, crying, chest beating. Wow! They don't do that. Very, very disciplined. And they are dignified people. Disciplined queues for water and groceries, and not a rough word or crude gestures. I actually have been in a war zone, Kosovo, Afghanistan. So I know this is not normal. Sometimes we just have to tell them, please, queue, you will get your shares. Queue. Everybody is rushing to get the food or whatever. But you see, from Japan, even though everybody is hungry, everybody wants the food, they are still queuing however long it will take. The ability, as our chairman just now was saying, that they are actually making the building or the bridge straight and so on. Yeah, I was told that for this, actually the buildings and the houses were meant to stand seismic earthquake, seismic resistant Richters of less than 7.5. But this time the scale is higher than what was expected. So massive destruction. Yeah. So they actually have a problem. They know they are in the area of devastation and earthquake. They think how to overcome this. So that's why they make buildings were straight, that didn't fall, and so on and so forth. Like the mirror, then. Yeah. I've been to UK. I've been to US also. They never use that. They never do that. But when I went to Japan, I said, Ya Allah, how little things that they do and make my life very easy. I don't have to. And sometimes even if we wipe, it's still blur, isn't it? So, mashallah. Yeah? The grace. People bought only what they need for the present, so that everybody could get something. Kalau if we compare, if there is a disaster, the shop all empty in a very short while, because everybody grab everything for themselves. But not Japanese. Yeah, they will take whatever they need only for the present, not what they need for next month. That's the difference. Huh? I only need this bread for today, so that's all they take. Day by day by day. Yeah. The order: no looting in the shop, no honking, no overtaking on the roads, just understanding. Kalau kita tengok Katrina, the typhoons in Katrina, then there's a lot of looting, there's a lot of stealing, and so on and so forth. even in Haiti also. So the sacrifice of the 50 workers that stayed back to pump water into the nuclear reactor, because nuclear reactor has been becoming heated up. They sacrificed themselves with the nuclear, the dangers of the nuclear radiation and so on. The tenderness, everybody cut prices. The restaurant cut prices, the unguarded ATM is left alone, the strong care for the weak. I was told in Kobe, the earthquake in Kobe, I can't remember which year, also massive destruction. There are people who come to even, because there's so much destruction, you can't even think that even the nail clipper pun tak ada. There is no nail clipper to clip your fingernails. So there is one humanitarian organization that come with this nail clipper and clip old people's nails to keep it nice and trim. That one you think is something that we always do. But in times like that, when you live in a hall and you have no space and so on, even little gestures like that matter a lot. You imagine you've got long fingernails, gatal kan, tak tahan. So somebody come with a nail clipper, tolong potong kuku, cut your fingernails. The training, the old and the children, everyone know exactly what to do, because I told them that they go into series of mitigation and exercises. They just know what to do. The media also show magnificent restraint in the bulletins, no silly reporters and so on. The conscience, so when the power went off in a store, people put things back on the shelf and left quietly. So these are the 10 great values that we should actually inculcate in himself. It's not something that comes immediately, it's something that has to be trained, has to be instilled in you to be able to do this. So maknanya if we ask you to donate, it's not something of excess that we donate. Something that we also need, but they also give. We also give in times like that. So let us learn from the calamities in our life to be a cause for respect and lesson to bring out human values. I don't know whether this story is correct, because I also took from the internet. I know some of you maybe have read this story. There's a Vietnamese man called Ho Manta, his name, and he migrated to Japan and he worked as a policeman in one of the town in Fukushima. So he narrated this story, and it was reported by Andrew Lam in Shanghai Daily, and it was circulated in the internet. So I took this to actually show that it's not just talks, but it is actually in action. A story of a 9-year-old boy, and then when this he was queuing to the end of the line. So when this policeman came and asked him, "Where's your parents?" So dia kata, "I was at school at the time tsunami came." He was on the 3rd floor. He saw his father's car being washed away, because he was on top. His father was on his way to fetch him, and his mother and his little sister were at home, and their house is right on the beach. So most probably they are all gone. So he cried, but he doesn't cry like that in front of the policeman. He just turned away, wiped the tears, dignified. And because the boy was at the end of the long queue, so the policeman gave his share of food to him, so that he can get the food and go home. But what did the boy do? He took the food, he went to the front of the line, put the food there. So bila the policeman asked, "Why did you do that? I give you the food so that you can eat. You are just a little boy." A 9-year-old boy can answer, "Because I see a lot more people hungrier than me. So if I put it there, then they will distribute the food equally." Such a high value. So pun juga there are stories when my friends, when